I had never seen so many people at Bath Iron Works lined up to go in and see the launching of a destroyer. Uh, there were all kinds of police there. The sheriff's department was on guard. There were a lot of Bath policemen. I'd also never seen so many policemen and security at such a launch before. Also at the launch were perhaps almost 100 people eventually that came to protest the launching of a weapon of mass destruction. I also interviewed many people who had things to say about this launching and what alternatives there might be to an economy. And later on, you'll even hear that the military is the least uh, produces less jobs than any other way, including just a straight tax cut for the taxpayers, would actually create more jobs than building these weapons of mass destruction. In a moment, you're going to be hearing from some of the individuals and what they had to say about this launch site.
I believe these are sea cadets.
What is going on here is an obscenity.
Carmen LaBercher for the Mid-Coast Friends meeting, and I've been studying war along with my peace work for many, many years. I always look at the DoD budget. What really surprises me, well, it doesn't surprise me. What is really wrong about the Paul Ryan budget that's just come out is that to make a balanced budget for this country, he has to cut way into domestic programs. Way into domestic programs, including green stamps, for instance, okay? But they never touch the Department of Defense budget, which keeps growing and growing.
My name is Jim Matlack. I'm a Quaker. Spent most of my life working to try to reduce the spending for the military and increase the spending for social programs and make life more equal for our citizens. I would not want to see Bath Iron Works lose all the jobs, so the answer to that is economic conversion. Let's use the workforce here and all the skills to make productive, peaceful products and not warships.
My name is Tom Hagan. I'm from Booth Bay. I'm a regular at the Mid-Coast Friends meeting in Damariscotta. I'm a three-time serial entrepreneur, so I'm a capitalist, and I'm opposed to throwing money away. And the Zumwalt represents throwing away, for the taxpayers of the United States, $3 billion. Why do we need a Navy that's stronger than the next 18 navies combined?
Well, we're told that Jesus Christ has come here to Bath Iron Works today to give his blessings of this $4 billion, very expensive and provocative warship destroyer, stealth destroyer, they say. I don't believe the Prince of Peace would actually come here and bless the warship. I think it's not so in the real world. But Americans like to think that God is on our side. But I don't think God chooses sides amongst the people of the planet. The job of this new stealth destroyer, $4 billion and counting, will be to sneak up on the coast of China and blast them in a first strike attack with electromagnetic rail guns that travel 7 times the speed of sound. It's really very dangerous warship. It's not about defending us, defending the homeland, defending the people. It's about offense. And it's about surrounding China and controlling China, which you can imagine if China tried to surround us, putting ships on our coast, the Pacific coast, the Atlantic coast, we'd be freaking out. But when we do it, supposedly Christ is blessing the whole operation. I think we need to think about this.
Bruce, I got one question. You talked about the railgun using an electromagnetic pulse. Now, you're about my age, and you must remember the Buck Rogers series in the comic strips. Would you call this railgun some sort of a death ray?
I don't know how to describe it other than that it's a provocative weapon system that is going to force China to counter-react, you know, to what they're doing, what the Navy is doing. So this is how arms races get started. And of course the corporations, in this case making $4 billion plus on this warship. You got to remember the last warship, the last destroyer they built here was about 1.5 billion. So they more than doubled the price of these things. So, you know, the corporations love this stuff. They love, you know, war is big business. And the American people, see, we have to think about this. Where does this $4 billion come from? Well, it comes from education. It comes from health care. It comes from fixing the potholes in our roads. It comes from fixing our leaking water and sewer systems in our communities, because the country is collapsing all around us. Our human and social infrastructure is literally collapsing as we fund these warships. So we're paying for it in more ways than one.
George Austinson, we're here protesting this so-called christening. You know, I think it's more of a lead up to a crucifixion that we're playing with. Here we are the day before Palm Sunday. We're going to christen a ship, you know, that's designed to wage war, and it has massive weapon systems that are the top of the line. It costs over $3 billion to make, and it's robbing the poor. It's robbing the poor all around the world. Okay, we're taking resources from the poor and we're building warships. Okay, for what purpose? To wage war. Okay, and that's the crucifixion. That's what a crucifixion was about. Okay, to stop Christ from preaching love. We're going to have a crucifixion. Well, this is what this is to me. It's not a christening. It's a horrible thing that's going on here. It's not something to celebrate at all.
What do you think of this?
I think it's a waste of our money. I think they got it all figured out so they can spend a lot of money and put it in somebody's pocket. I wish they were spending our money somewhere else.
My name is Debbie Layton, and I know why the Navy's doing it. I don't believe it's a good thing, and particularly the boat that they just built. I think they could do a lot more with wind turbines, with a lot of other kinds of engineering and products that would be much more peaceful. And a number of the people who work here would really like to have to work in a place where they're not having to build military ships that would kill people.
Okay, my name is Christine Detroit, and what do I think about this? We're working on a killing machine. Just the word destroyer itself should give us a pause to think, do we really want to destroy?
My name is Bill Savadoff. I'm here across from where they're building the destroyer because I think the United States spending 10 times more than every other country in the world on military machine isn't making us safer. I think it's making us less safe by making us more enemies. And if we weren't spending these billions of dollars on these war machines, we'd have money to employ people in education, in healthcare, in low carbon energy future, and all kinds of things that would make this planet a much better place.
Well, my name is Selma Sternlieb. I live in Brunswick. I'm appalled at the idea of christening a ship of death. We have way, way, way too many ships of death. We don't need any more. We should be making ships for health purposes, to bring health care to people all over the world. We should be making ships for many other things, but not for war. I'm totally opposed to what they're doing here.
So my name is Maureen Austinson. I live on the Smiling Trees Disarmament Farm in Hope, Maine. I'm here with my husband and my 2 children, really to hold the space in our hearts and in our psyche that peace can happen and that we can devote our resources to health and well-being rather to destruction. And I especially hold my children in that because I think they're growing up in a world that's more and more militarized, and they're surprised at our challenge of that. So I'm holding out the space for them in their future, that it can be a non-militarized future.
Well, I'm Subrata Ghoshrai. I'm from Boston, and I'm here to give a talk on the Asia pivot. This is tonight in Brunswick. As far as what's going on here is people have jobs in a place like this, and even though this is for war, it's intimately tied to people's living. So a lot of people are coming in with children, families, and but we need to remind people that there is probably a better way to live, and our economy can prosper with alternative energy and things we build that are not for war.
Hi there, I'm Brown Leatham. I live in Berwick, Maine, and I'm here to ask the shipbuilding industry to convert to peacetime infrastructure that we are so badly in need of. I would love to see some high-speed rail so that people can get around more easily, and the bridges need things. The transportation system for our kids is pretty sadly lacking at this point. We can't really afford to continue to build warships in a world which is disastrously heading for more and more problems if we continue that way.
I'm here because we've got the best workers in the country working on building the wrong things, and I would like them to begin a movement within this shipyard to say, hey, you know, we'd rather build a hospital ship than this Zumwalt. I think this is a theft from all of the country, this $4 billion ship. I would love to, you know, irk people enough and get under their skin to start thinking about some of these issues.
Well, this is the first time I've seen a parade like this.
Good man.
Morning, good morning, good morning.
Well, like I said,
Good morning.
good morning.
I would appreciate that, yeah.
Well, look at this. Officers and enlisted men and family members all walking together in a parade. I was in the Navy, and I never saw officers and enlisted men walking together in solidarity. There was always a huge separation. I thought I would just show you the line of people that was on the opposite side of the street from where Bath Iron Works is, and give you an idea of the nearly 100 people that showed up at the rally to ask for a better way to spend our tax dollars, building a better society rather than building more weapons of mass destruction.
Let's give those drummers a hand.
Thank you all very much for coming today. There are more than we counted a while back. There were 80, but we think that more came. We think there's probably about 90 people here. Thank you all very much for being here today. Give yourself
First of all, it's fantastic to have so many in this circle. And in this circle, we want to call to include in our circle all the people around the world who are suffering at the hands of U.S. militarism. And we also want to call into this circle all the people around the world who are suffering and in jail because of their resistance to U.S. militarism. So who would we like to call in today?
I call in all the people who are in the military also, because only love can drive out hate.
Hear, hear.
Free Chelsea Manning.
And we can carry this circle in our hearts wherever we go, and when we need this circle, it will be with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody from out of town that wants to hang around for a while, I made a big pot of vegetable soup, and you're all invited to our house at 212 Center Street. I want to say on behalf of Veterans for Peace that we thank all of the co-sponsoring organizations that helped turn people out today. We're really proud that we had a great turnout today. This was probably, they say, the biggest christening. What a blasphemous use of the word, but it's the biggest one I think they've ever had. They say they expect about 6,000 people here. So we really, I think, did well today. And so thank you all so much for being here. Woo! Anybody else want to say anything? This would be a good time. Let me just make one announcement. I think you might be interested. Last fall in November, there was a campaign in Bath opposing a TIF, a tax break that General Dynamics wanted $6 million on top of $197 million they already got since 1997. And a local committee of Bath residents organized. We went to 95% of the doors across the city.
Support the troops!
And the people, and the people in the community, the people in the community responded by contacting the city council, and they ended up cutting the request by $3 million. This was a big step for Bath. And so the committee came out of that experience saying, what should we do next? And decided that we should create a community conversation about the conversion and diversification of Bath Iron Works. And so today, that's the theme of this protest, of this event. And what we're now building towards is a community potluck and program on Friday, June 27th here in Bath. I hope you'll put that on your calendar, because we're going to be inviting lots of elected officials and business leaders from across the state. And we hope that many of you will come and join us. There'll be a potluck supper that night, and then we'll have the program afterwards. And we'd like to show that there are concerned citizens all over the state that would like to see this conversion process happen. Because unless we do, and until we do, there will be no end to war, because our communities have become addicted to military spending. So please keep that date, June 27th, in mind. And following that, we want to embark on a statewide effort. So we're going to need the support of all of you back home to pass a conversion planning commission, a permanent commission for the state of Maine to plan for the conversion of the military-industrial complex in Maine. Other states have already taken this step. Connecticut has passed such legislation, and other states are now working on it. So we're going to need Maine to come alive through the legislature. And so your help will be very, very important in this process. So by coming on June 27th, you will learn more about this whole effort and then help us make it happen across the state. I wonder if I can put someone on the spot, a local Quaker, one of the members of our committee that's planning this, Leslie Manning. I wonder if she might say something about this process.
Maine has a wonderful history of engaging our citizens on the impact of large corporations on our community. One of the models that we're using is the Citizens Fair Trade Commission that was created after the so-called fair trade agreements stripped our state of manufacturing jobs. And in a climate where poor people are being blamed for our economy, let's remember that poor people did not cause the worldwide economic collapse, and that poor people did not strip Maine of its manufacturing jobs, and that poor people do not benefit from tax cuts to the wealthy. Those are all lies, but the only thing that it takes for a lie to succeed is for good people to do nothing. So thank you for being here, and thank you for helping us to change the conversation from making war to making peace.
Well, they always say it's about jobs. We can't cut defense spending because people will lose jobs. The Zoom wall, you know, whatever weapon came before it and whatever weapon came after it. And our newest Senator Angus King has said that. Our Representative Shelley Pingree has said that to me. But the fact is that investing in military contracting and building weapons of mass destruction is one of the worst job generators there is. And I'm holding a chart that comes from that Pollan and Pelletier study, the employment effects of U.S. military spending out of UMass Amherst, where they put a $1 billion investment into different sectors of our economy. This one represents defense contracting. That gets you the fewest number of jobs. This is just giving the citizens a tax rebate, creates more jobs than building weapons of mass destruction, manufacturing energy efficient home components, healthcare, education, the field I work in, and mass building, light rail or mass transit generates more than twice as many jobs as investing in building weapons. So when they tell you it's about jobs, that's a lie too. And we need to help educate our neighbors and ourselves about where our true interests lie and what would be best for our future. Thank you, Bruce.
What does democracy look like?
This is what democracy looks like.
What does democracy look like?
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.